All right, everybody, what's happening? Looks like the live stream is up and running. So you can catch me live. Obviously, this will be saved as well on YouTube. So this is the 2025 Commish Corner YouTube grand opening. So we've left that Facebook Live behind and all that other stuff. So we're trying to get with these kids and these streamers. I'm definitely out of my element. This is not what I do, but you know what? I do it for y'all. So here we are. Hopefully this works better for everybody else because, like I say, some guys are active on Facebook, some are not. I told you before we tried the Twitch, which actually does stream better, but the Twitch also doesn't. What am I trying to say? The Twitch also requires an account, so everybody doesn't have an account. Everybody doesn't want an account, and I understand that. So working with my microphone here. Maybe let me try something a little different so at least it can get closer to me. Hopefully you guys hear me okay. I'll try to speak up. I know when I look at some of these scores and everything I got going on, I surely get mumble mouth because my game this week definitely had me left me speechless. So no further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. So week one is in the books. Hold up, let me do this. Uh, sh- Shrink myself a little bit. There we go. I know y'all like looking at the commish because I'm always fresh dressed and all that. But let's look at these scores because week one's in the books. There's a lot of things going on. Um, I immediately regretted my draft pick from the third round on, and it shows in my quarterback play. I'll discuss that when I get to my matchup. Um, but this was a big week for some guys, first, second round picks showed up. There was a few no shows for first round picks. Like I say, Brady's bunch must have had a psychic intervention to not take Jamar Chase at number one. To me, threw the whole draft off for me because I was already prepared to not have him available. So to go to Saquon at one, I think I probably looked at that for like 10 seconds before I realized it's my pick and I don't know what to do. So Bijan is who I had queued up. I went ahead and stuck with it. He he did what he had to do. Did most of it in the air, but I don't care how he does it, as long as he scores his points. But had I taken Jamar Chase, my dismal week would have been even worse. So, with that, let me go ahead and get straight into the matchups. So, fuck it. Let's start with the commish first. I'm the defending champ, so I opened up my defense with an embarrassing loss and what can only be described as a moderate pillow fight to Balco. Balco did everything he could to lose this game and still didn't lose it. I mean, he had one of his guys get knocked out by his own players, and he still won the damn game. So let's look at the matchup and find out who the culprits are. So here we go. Here's the lineup, and I'm gonna start right off the bat with Bo fucking Nix. It's my channel. I get to cuss. Y'all know I cuss anyway. So Bo fucking Nix. That's his name from now on. What's the good old boys? He's a good. You know the song with the General Lee. And now I'm old, so it's gonna come to me late. But that's when I'm start calling Bo and Luke. I'd be damned if I can't think of the last name, but it's gonna come to me. But that's what I'm gonna call his dumbass from now on. 8 points. 8 freaking points against Tennessee, one of the worst teams in the league. I think he had a pick six. If I break out his points, um, two interceptions. Like I said 176-yard pass. He lucked up and had the one touchdown, which saved him. So if he doesn't throw the touchdown, then we're looking at a 2 point quarterback. And here's why I say it's my fucking fault. I had the second pick. Y'all know my guys, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was available when I came back around. And I said, you know what? I'm kind of weak at receiver the way I picked. So I said, maybe the quarterback run won't happen. I said, I realized, you know what? I got 20 fucking picks before it gets back to me. Of course, the quarterback's gonna run. By the third and the fourth round, it gets back to me. So I knew I made a tactical error the minute I didn't pick Lamar Jackson with my first pick in the third round. So if I don't win this year because I didn't take Lamar Jackson, it'll be that's the reason. And I'll take my D for a draft grade because that was a dumb move all the way around. Then but anyway, let's look at the matchup. Quarterback, I caught a break because Joe Burrow only had 10 points, so Joe didn't do much. Terry McLaurin came back, signed, didn't do shit, 4 points. But Tyreek Hill, I said, so far, I said, we're slap fighting it out right now. This ain't no heavyweight fight. This is a featherweight. Then I get Jamison Williams, high powered Detroit offense, 6 fucking points. But Xavier Worthy gets knocked out right when the game starts by Travis Kelce, who had his best hit of the day, or probably all year. Knocked him out. I said, okay, well, I'm going to be okay. Running back, we're watch. I'm probably on the plus side because I got Bijan who balled out. I said, okay, I think might be able to pull this off, but Tyrone Tracy, running back for the Giants, that's gonna hurt me all year. Trey McBride was okay. Stephon Diggs, I thought would have done better. Defense, I'm okay, but really it's up here. These three up here, and then Tyrone Tracy. So in the key positions, I'm very thin. And Darren was able to get back with just some of it to Brock Bowers, Trayvon Henderson, McCaffrey, who's only got maybe 1 or 2 more weeks before he's out for the season. So Darren, you better get as many points out of him as you can. So it wasn't much of a game. The Denver D came through for him against Tennessee. Green Bay is going to be a better defense. Like I said, that was against Detroit. So I got 13 points out of the Green Bay D. But that also helped because the Micah Parsons coming in. So I shouldn't have beat Darren, and I didn't. And I won't beat many people with only 98 points. But Darren at 102, you're not going to beat many people either. So for Diesel and Balco to put up these numbers, and we're historically powerhouses. I think we were number 1 and 2 in power ranking last year going into the playoffs. So yeah, this is a real bad showing from two OGs, but like I said, just early on. Uh, I think Darren's roster is going to be okay as long as McCaffrey stays healthy. I need some work. So Commish is going to be working the waiver wires. If I'm still stuck with Bo Nix, if Bo Nix doesn't do something this week too, and I'm stuck looking for quarterbacks, it's going to be a long fucking season. So there we are with that. Let's go back to the matchups. I said, but anyway, good win, Balco. Sucks to be the commish. All right, next up we got what looks to be, yeah, well, yeah, blowout of the week. 63 plus 16, 70. Yeah, we got us a major, almost a 70 point, 80 points. No, I can't add, so at least 63 plus 16, 79, 80 points. I'm to round up to 80 points. Against no other than fucking Purdy Fly for a white guy. I don't care if you change your name to Haywood Jablomi, Purdy Fly for a white guy. What was the other one? You had some other catchy name before CP. But I don't care what you call that team, dude. You were getting the same result. And let me start by saying this, CP. You know you're my guy, you're my dude, and I'm always happy to have you back. So don't take this shit personally, because damn, let's look it up. Like I say, let's look at what we're on the tail of the tape. Oh yeah, okay. So Justin Herbert, I don't know where that Justin Herbert came from, but he was a monster. 35 points. Jaden Daniels, 22, respectable. Lad McConkey, there's 20, there's 13. So there's the combo there. And that's only going to get better because McConkey's going to get targets and he's going to get touchdowns. So the Herbert McConkey connection is going to be nice. Marvin fucking Harrison Jr. Look who showed up this year. You know who didn't show up last year? Marvin Harrison Jr. So I guess, he's going to work hard. I guess he's going to, well, he can't do any worse than he did his rookie year. So if that's going to be a mark for things to come. He's going to be a nice pick. Saquon with the first pick. 18's legit for running back. 18's legit. Still threw me off when you picked them first. I said I did not see that coming. I didn't know what to do, but I'm glad for this week I didn't take Jamar Chase, and we'll get whoever has him, we'll find him. Kyron Williams, not bad with 13. They were kind of if you watched all the shows, everybody's writing, oh Kyron Williams, Kyron Williams. Hey, they said it last year. The guy was legit. He's legit this year. Sam Laporta actually got more work than he did last year, so that should be a good sign for Detroit and those who have him. Cause Zay fucking Flowers, man, where the hell this guy come from? I had him in another league before. He never did anything like this. So to see Zay Flowers with 30, uh, Brady's bunch, I'm gonna tell you, don't count on that. That was an aberration. I said, yeah, he had a good game. 147 yards, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. Yeah, that's don't count on that. Don't you count on that. And then Jake Elliott, Washington's D against the Giants. Well, it's the Giants. I don't care where Russell Wilson goes. Like I say, he's done. But let's look at my man. Let's look at CP, pretty fly for a white guy, and see what do we got. Jaden Daniels, all right. Nico Collins, another one of those high round receiver busts. Brian Thomas Jr., Jacksonville. Hey, and he's got surfer boy thrown to him, so and they're gonna try to give Travis Hunter some type of targets to justify taking him that high. So I think Brian Thomas, who is a good receiver, I think his year's gonna get fucked over for Travis Hunter. Tony Pollard, hey, I'm looking at the running back. A backfield of Tony Pollard and DeAndre Swift is not gonna get many wins this year. That's not. Um Njoku, um, down game. But like I said, he's got Joe Flacco thrown to him. And the bad thing is that if Flacco, when Flacco falls apart and they have to go to any of those backups, his season ends because I'll tell you, them rookies that they do have, they're not, like I said, those guys aren't checking down and they're holding the ball too long. And Shador is going to take 50 sacks rather than throw an incomplete pass or throw the ball away. So, yeah, and any receiver, any offensive skill player from Cleveland, you can scrub them. They shouldn't be on anybody's roster. Okay, T. Higgins. Um, I have him in the league. Like I say, Cincinnati didn't do much. Now, having said that about Cleveland's offense, their defense is legit. So that's not. We'll see what those guys do next week. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, because the Cleveland defense is legit, without a doubt. So can't really fault that there. The kickers and defenses. So even the Cincinnati defense didn't do a lot against the Cleveland Browns, but 84 points, I think that was the lowest of the week. Um, Without a doubt it was. So Chris, good to see that you picked up where you left off last year. So I like that. I like the consistency in that and I can count on you to stay the course. Yahoo said you were supposed to win that game 135 to 131. I don't know who in Yahoo saw 135 points in that game, but that's a big drop off. Like I say, I was only supposed to score 116, and I didn't. I couldn't do that, but still, 35, 16, 51 points. Yeah, that's a lot to. That's a big gap. But y'all know how I feel about Yahoo. I haven't had my official Yahoo rant yet. It's coming. Um, I wish Yahoo had a place I could post my rant about how fucked up whoever handles their fantasy football stuff is. But anyway, Brady's bunch. I think that's the high score this week. Yep. So John, like I say, was another powerhouse last year. He's a John. Don't get me wrong. I know you're a back-to-back winner. I think you're a two-time winner. If you're a three-time winner, don't hold it against me. But I don't think you are. But I know you're at least a two-time winner. And I think those were back-to-back. The commission himself is a two-time winner, but there was a little bit of a gap. And whereas Mike Roberts? Mike Roberts is one. I think so. I think we've only been back 5 years. So I think that's it. And I think Darren won one. I have to go back, but y'all know I'm old, and I'm a lot older than I was just a year ago. So y'all have to bear with me on some of the history here. Um, Let me see something here. If you guys are Okay, John's got me loud and clear. That's why I was looking for to see if there was any feedback. This whole streaming thing is kind of cool, but it's telling me on the studio that I've got up here that I do have somebody viewing, but it's not showing me the chats. I have to go back to a different channel for the chat. So, like I said, trial run, I'm going to get it together. But if you guys can hear me fine, that's good. If you're live, that's good. If not, you can always pick it up later. It'll stay on the channel. So, there's that. And I'm gonna try to time these. I don't, y'all know I can talk all fucking day, and I'll rant and ramble. So I'll try to keep these to maybe when I do the wrap up, maybe to 15, 20 minutes. I know I'm gonna go over that. I'm already at what 15 minutes now, and I've only done two games. But like I said, I'm just glad to be back. So I'm gonna speed through it a little bit, just so I don't take up a whole lot of bandwidth here. All right, but anyway, John, Brady's bunch, big win. CP3, keep it up. You're on pace you're on pace for last year, so we'd like to see that. All right, next up we got Brett Lickety Splits. I see who's that. That's got. I don't know who Lickety Splits is. Is that um? That's not Mike, is it? It might be Mike. Yep, it is Mike. Okay, so he didn't change to Lickety Splits, and Lickety Splits came right. All right, let me catch up. Came up with a nail biter to Brett, 121, 114. So that's one of the closer games. Um, yep, one of the closer games. So let's take a look at that. Another, I see 120 is about normal here. One under 120, is borderline. 120 might get you wins in most cases. You could also score 130. You catch the wrong guy the wrong week and you'll lose. But that's all the Mrs. Commissions here. Hey, I'm online. Come on up, baby. Miss Commissions needs an appearance. The Mrs. Commish needs to make an appearance. Here she comes, y'all. Anyway, while she's coming up, let me set this up. Um, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield, legit game. So for Brett, that 28 points. And Baker's a good quarterback. Baker's going to have a lot of games like this. So you can't go wrong with Baker Mayfield. And it's a damn good thing because Jamar Chase putting up 4 points. He was the consensus number one pick in every draft, and he went number three in our draft. So John Brady's bunch had the first pick, didn't take him. I didn't take him because I stuck to my strategy outside of the Lamar Jackson pick. I did not make, but is Jamar Chase going to be solid all year? Of course he is. But there was always this possibility because what he got is freaking money. This always happens when guys that hold out, they get their money and they get it. Um, but I think this is an aberration. I think he's going to be fine because he still has a great quarterback thrown to him. He still has another receiver, but you can't just shut him down altogether. And a good running game with Chase Brown. So at the end of the season, Jamar Chase is going to be a top three fantasy scoring wide receiver and probably a top five fantasy scoring player. So it's just, one of them bad games. Um, Lickety on the other side, Puka Nakua is proving he's not a fluke. Lot of they were talking about the drop off for him and Devontae Adams coming in. Nah, man, still had 10 catches, 130 yards. He put up 25 points without a touchdown. He's still legit. So Puka's still going to do his thing. George Pickens in Dallas, I think that's going to get better because Dak's always going to be behind. um, some of them balls that I watched the game could have came up with him. He's going to be a deep threat, but we'll see. And hey guys, look who's here. Oh, man, get on right there. Mhm. That's right, well, Mrs. Commission's back. So the season is now official. The first broadcast, Miss Commission, she was at work when I started. She made it in. She must have felt the vibe while she was out at work. So you know what? I think he's online, and I need to get home before he gets offline. So, did you feel that vibe? Did you feel it?
because I needed to come. You see, I got my Cowboys blue on.
And that, it's Colts blue.
Cowboys. But okay. I mean,
There's no such color as Cowboys blue.
uh, who's online?
Let's see. Who's on? I know John's online. Well,
Hey, John.
Charlie's online. Yo, Charlie. Oh, okay, Charlie. What's up?
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, babe, you ain't got to whisper. They can get to talking to the microphone,
I'm
babe.
just saying hey to
But
everybody.
you got to speak up, yell at, talk to them like you holler at me.
Now,
They don't deserve that. Yeah, so
hope y'all win. But of course, the Cowboys is going to take it all. But, it's all good. I'll check back in with y'all in mid season.
hey, I'm going to go find her. Look at John says, "Hey, boss lady, hey,
Hey, John. See there. He
boss."
understand.
John just wants to come back over for more ribs.
They can come over.
They can.
Tell me when. I'm gone. I'm out.
All right, Miss Commission. That was her appearance. She's been in and out. Now let's get back onto the show because she's talking that cowboy stuff, and we just not gonna have all that disrespect on this airway. Um, and she got a whole lot to answer for. She's not done. But in any case, Jamar Chase was a bust for 1 week, but I think that's going to work out. I never get Jackson Smith and Jenga, whoever Jenga, that motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about from Seattle. Surprisingly had a good game, 21 points. Let's see what else is shine. Brett had a legit team outside of Jamar Chase. He had quite a few guys in double digits. Jamar's going to get his, so um, Brett's going to be somebody to deal with this year. Um, Lickety splits, like I said, Aston Genty. You know, let's see what the rookie does. It's not bad. He had a touchdown. A touchdown's what saved him. If he doesn't score the touchdown, he's only in the 6 point category. Um, Nothing in the receiving game. He had 2 catches, no yards. James Cook, okay, but that's against a bad Baltimore defense, a surprisingly bad Baltimore defense. We'll see what he does in his next game. Tight end, R.J. Harvey, like I said Denver, not bad, 7 rushing yards. So you get a touchdown with that, and you get a double-digit running back. And then Kansas City's defense, immediate 5 points. That's below, but so Minnesota was bad too. So overall, this was a decent game. I like Brett's lineup though. I like Baker. I like Jamar and Jenga. I'm calling him Jenga from now on. Y'all can laugh at me later about my mispronunciation of him. I think they call him the JSN, and that's what we're calling him though. I think I heard that. So, but James Conner, George Kittle, Waddle. Nah, I don't see nothing. I see Tua being a bust this year. But I like the lineup. But either way, that's a good win. That's a close game. Um, Lickety splits was close to projection where Brett was under, but still a decent game. Uh, both these guys are going to be in the mix. All right, who we got next? Dwayne, my main man, Dwayne, and goddamn Tiffany Amber Thielen. Charlie started off with a damn win. Charlie, that's what the hell I'm talking about. Welcome back. I need some ribs and a hookah. Got it. Got it. I said that's go. We're gonna put all that in mix for all you local guys. The commission. It's been a hell of a year, but things have kind of rounded out and shaped up for the better. So everything's going good now. The commission is gonna throw his much delayed cookout. So you guys pass it around once I get out. Everybody local is welcome. We're gonna have a good time. Like I said, John can vouch for my ribs because I vouch for them too. But let somebody else who's already had them. Charlie, definitely the hookah. Um, I got to try that big ass fruit hookah you had. But yeah, all that's in play. But anyway, back to this. But we'll get to that later once I wrap this up. Um, but Dwayne versus Charlie, who started off with a good win, 138. 138 is going to get you a win most weeks. That's a solid, in our league, that's a solid number. We look at the matchup, quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who should be on my team, but it's my fault. I get that. and then CD Lamb. That's a good one too. So I got to find out where Dwayne went bad. Okay, Devontae Smith, not much. Josh Jacobs legit. Kamara, okay, double digit. Uh, um, I don't see why it's so bad, Dwayne. He had a 14-point defense. Your flex guy was double digits. So I don't know. I'll say this: if you've got 33 and 20 from Lamar and CD and only scored 119, Dwayne, that's going to look, it's going to kind of rough because those are good numbers. Everybody else's numbers are not bad, minus Devontae Smith, who's going to be up and down. Because say what you want about Philly, they're going to win games. Hurts is going to get his points, but he's not doing it in the air, and that's the number two receiver. So AJ Brown didn't even do it. In fact, Hurts didn't even have. There he's right here, 152 yards passing, no touchdown. So they're going to win games without Hurts being a great passing quarterback. But if you have Hurts, you're going to always get the tush push touchdowns. So there's always that. But your receivers, good luck. So Dwayne, it's going to be points are thin. They're going to be scarce for you. But Charlie, let's see, you got Jalen Hurts. You're going to get 20 a game because he's going to have passing and running and touchdowns. Devontae Adams, it's obvious he's taking a backseat to Puka. DK Metcalf at Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers didn't look bad. I think I think DK might be okay. Fucking boss man Derrick Henry, you definitely can't go wrong there. He started out one. The only thing that cost him was the fumble. He doesn't fumble. Like I said, dude, that's player of the week. Without a doubt. Not counting Josh and I think Josh is the only one outscored him for the week. HN, I think you're okay because as long I see he's a running back. Running backs will be okay in Miami because they don't need Tua to do anything for them. Just hand off the fucking ball. Mark Andrews is done. And I say if he only scored 1 point in that shootout, it's a wrap. Mark Andrews as a elite tight end, I think is over. Aaron Jones, y'all know how I feel about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones remains on my undraftables. I don't care that he gave you 15. I say you take that touchdown away, and he's at 9. He's under 10 points. So Aaron Jones will be. He's the Cedric Benson of this time frame right now. So you guys remember Cedric Benson. I might be telling my age, but as long as you've got Derrick Henry and Jalen Hurts, like I said, Charlie, that alone is gonna make Charlie a tough out every week. So it's a good win. It's good to see Charlie back on the winning side. This league does better when Charlie's on the winning side. I'm sorry. Y'all can say what you want, but the league just does better when Charlie is winning and is active. Same for Darren, same for the commish. But Charlie is, I'm telling you, when Charlie sucks, it's just like it just takes the life out of me in the league. So, Charlie, welcome back. I hope you can keep this up. You know, history hasn't been kind to you in this league, but we'll see. But you're off to a good start. 138 is legit. You have room for more points, so I can see this being a consistent thing. So, welcome back. All right, this would have been the blowout of the week if it hadn't been for Brady's bunch, but we like to welcome for you guys who don't know who Survivor Scrolls is. That's most of us locals that from the work arena know Rodney. Rodney hasn't played in this league before, and it's quite obvious because Rodney took a pounding from Chris Jacks, the Fat Bellies in week one. Um, yeah, Yahoo had it 125, 120 for the projection, but nah, that's not how this shit turned out on the field. So we got to take a look at this because this is a very rude introduction, Rodney. I'm sorry. I would say we don't normally treat new guys like this. I said, but we do. This is what everybody gets because if you've never played in our league like this with the 3-man bench and the short bench in that draft, hey, that's a game changer. You have to manage, so you can't just draft a whole bunch of people and then I lucked up and got a guy who is the backup running back to this guy. I said so. It forces you to be active and pay attention. But let's look at the tape. Okay, first off, Josh Allen, he was the player of the week, 44 points. balled out in the second half. So he was doing okay, but yeah, that fourth quarter, Josh got busy and put up to 44. We all know 44, 40 plus points more always puts you in player of the week category. And he clearly was the highest scoring player in fantasy this week. And not just our league, that's probably every league that manages points per reception, all kind of bonuses. Josh Allen was the man. Um, Mahomes was Mahomes was good for Mahomes, 250, passing touchdown, rushing touchdown. But you draft Mahomes for Josh Allen kind of games, and he's not been that guy in a couple of years. So um, stat wise, I'm not saying that. I'm going to say what I say. Baker Mayfield is going to have more fantasy points than Patrick Mahomes at the end of the year. CP3, you and I can throw a Kansas City bet at you in a heartbeat. If you want some more of that action, you got me last year. But you want some of that action, we can work something out. So when you see this video, I stand on this ground again that Baker Mayfield, barring an injury, so if either of these guys get hurt, the bet is off. If you want that bet, but Baker Mayfield will be a higher scoring fantasy quarterback than Patrick Mahomes this year. I stand on that. So CP3, when you see it, let me know what you want to do. My money's always in play. All right, but anyway, Cortland Sutton surprisingly had a good game with a fucked up quarterback with Bo Nix. And somebody tell me what them fucking the Bo and Luke with the General Lee, that TV show and all that. I cannot think of that shit for nothing in the world. Okay, John two-time champ. Okay, I got that. Okay. Um, damn, that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to Google that. Literally don't. You know what? Y'all got time. So let me see. Bo and Luke. Bo and Luke. Dukes of Hazard. But I'll be goddamn. Now I feel stupid. Bo Duke. Dukes of Hazard. Wow. That was a hard one to figure out. I'm here to tell y'all, man, hey, when y'all get in your 60s, you're gonna have moments like this too. I couldn't think of Dukes of Hazard for nothing in this world, but I got it. So anyway, that's my new name for Bo Nix is Bo fucking Dukes. But anyway, he had 18 points out of that. Once again, 6 catches, 60 yards, the touchdown saved him. Um, I'm not gonna pronounce that game right. Ibuka. I'm gonna call him Emeka. Yeah, that it's a shame that I'm the guy fucking the names up. Hell, you would think I'd get these right, but nah. At 23, that's with Tampa Bay. Now you got Mike Evans on that team and some other stuff, so that could spread around. Oh, John said second comment in the John. Okay, the Dukes. Yep, reading is fundamental. John told me that probably 25 minutes ago, and I'm just now noticing it. But also, I don't have the chat window up, and it's not showing up. If y'all would ever see my setup, you'll see how it's streaming, but it's also not showing me the chat on the stream box I'm looking at. But either way, um, let's see what we got. Chase Brown, 13. Um, this is a good game. 151 would have been high score if not for John. 150 is going to get you a win 99 times out of 100. And Chris, like I said, was runner up last year. Chris and I actually played in 2 Super Bowls last year, so Chris is for sure a powerhouse. This is the kind of things you expect out of Fat Bellies. Survivor Scrolls, I don't know how you're going to survive with this kind of a lineup. I mean, you got Mahomes. Amon Ra's going to be better. Drake London could go up or down because it's still Drake London, it's still Atlanta. Amari and Hampton. If Herbert's slinging the rock, he's not going to run as much. So he's going to start needing touchdowns to score to get points. Pacheco, once again, Kansas City, there's no telling what's going on in their backfield. Hawkinson, 5 points, 4 points. We might be seeing the end of the TJ Hawkinson era at tight end. Chris Olave, not bad. but that's a terrible quarterback situation they have down there in New Orleans. So I look for single digit guy points out of Olave most of the year. Then Pittsburgh's D, surprisingly, even though in the win, gave up a lot of points to the Jets. So that was, yeah. Let's see what we got, John. He's already. But yeah, Rod, like I said, if you get a chance to see this, I'll probably call you later. Um, welcome to the league, Chris. We appreciate you giving Rod that baptism into the league. So tell him, hey, look, this is this is the kind of thing you can expect all season if you don't get it together. So anyway, big win for Chris. Puts him in number 2 in the power rankings. And then we're going to finish off with the other pillow fight of the week with Sack Exchange and Leo San. Leo San was supposed to win this game, didn't win it. Let's see where we got. First off, Brock Purdy surprisingly had a decent game. Malik Neighbors, double digits. But these are like 12, 10, 12, 12s, 11. So you're just at the cusp of double digits. But you're going to need some 20s here and there, the potential 30. Sack Exchange, Big Al, my main man, uh, got the win with I mean, shit, 7 from Dak, 1 from AJ Brown. I don't expect to see AJ Brown with 1 point, but I see a lot of single digits in AJ Brown's season this year because they're not going to throw the ball. I said, I don't know what the situation going to dictate for Jalen to throw the ball more, but I think they're just happy if they keep winning, they're going to keep running the ball. I don't see them airing it out unless they get into a shootout, but I don't see a shootout because that defense they have is tight and they have that massive offensive line. They can run the ball. So I see Saquon and Jalen having big years in fantasy numbers, and everybody else is picking up scraps. AJ Brown, the number 1 receiver, included. Okay, Garrett Wilson ended with 22. I blame that on the bad Pittsburgh defense. Um, I don't know that 22, that 14 seemed to be more in line for him. Jameer Gibbs had 15. That's going to get better. If you look at this guy, 10 reception for 30 yards. Yeah, they're not. They're getting him his touch, but only 19 rushing yards. He's gonna get his rushing yards, but he's getting targets. So Jameer Gibbs is gonna get his numbers. So that guy I feel okay. Chuba Hubbard, Al, when you took him, if you could have heard me scream over here, because I had him queued up. Chuba helped lead me to a championship last year, and I sure was trying to get him. Hey, he's still going to be okay. They tried to write him off. He's going to be in that 15 to 25 point guy every week, and I like him. And as always, Al's going to take another jet. So how many jets do you have? 2 or 3? You have 3. That's going to be your downfall. Al is the ultimate homer. So the sack exchange, the Mark Gastineau sack exchange, he's going to keep him 2 or 3 jets on that team no matter what. Didn't hurt you this week. It could have, because at 101, you weren't going to beat very many. Let's see, you won one, two, three, four. And luckily, of the 4 teams you would have beat, you managed to play one of them. So, but it's a good win for Al. Uh, Leo, another bad loss. Um, I don't know if Leo, you're spending too much time on the grill or working out and cooking up some specialties. But John, I know, hell, I know y'all not traveling to do anything for work. Coach him up a little bit, pull him to the side, grab Rod too, pull Rodney over there, and just have like a little team meeting and just get these guys together. Um, let's look at the standings and let's see where we're looking at in division. So we got Charlie, Brett, Big Al, 1, 2, and 3 up top. Brady's Bunch, Fat Buzz, and Balco, uh, 1-0 on the bottom. And I thought this the gloom league's gonna be tough because y'all still. I get that I lost. I didn't look good, but I'm still legit. I'm nice. I said don't take this as me being that soft. I'm gonna get in the mix. So um one of these four is not going to make the playoffs. If you had to guess on the first week, though, it's going to be me. Me and Balco had the pillow fight, but I get it. But John and Chris, Brady's Bunch and Fat Bellies, shit, 160, 150. Yeah, that's off to a good start. I think one year we had four people from one division. So um like I always say, 8 wins get you in. If you make it to eight, you'll get in. So that's my goal, and then obviously you're gonna have to, retool the lineup and get it together. So I've been going about a solid 45 minutes. Um, I am going to try to condense this a little bit more on the wrap up, but I was excited to be back, get this thing going again. I hope you guys are liking the YouTube action on it. I like the interaction. If you see, that's the YouTube streaming channel on the side, so I'm able to see the chats. Um, I got a couple things I can work different. I'll probably bring another monitor in play, and I can put more and get more interactive. So, but I like the the streaming. I like this better than Facebook. Um, Once we get going regular, I like to run a regular wrap up and then just a. I hate to call it a podcast because I don't want it to be like a podcast, but I want to try. John, I know you do something like this, but I'd like to be able to do something on YouTube where you guys can also, you know, get video in and we can discuss back and forth, kind of like they'll do on ESPN. I have split screen or whatever. I'm up for all of that too. So I think it would be fun if, because especially if say Chris Jackson, John Merritt, and freaking Charlie. Charlie, for y'all that don't know Charlie, Charlie is funny as fuck. So if Charlie, like I said, y'all want to try to do something and work something out, we'll try it out. I'd like to, and that's not to say anybody else. I know some guys, based on their situation, whatever, may not want to be online or do so. And I understand that. I said, but I'd like to have like a call-in show or something like that where we could have a regularly scheduled time and we can discuss first off league stuff and then just random other sports only stuff. So we're gonna leave it at that. So if you guys are up for that, the next, coming weeks we'll try to throw something together. But barring any other situation, Tuesday is going to be my wrap up time. And I like to do like I hate to do it on a Saturday. Maybe the Sunday before the games. Like I said, everybody's watching that, but you're also watching the ESPN fantasy shows with all of that because they're giving some information. So maybe a third Tuesday, Thursday seems too close together, but we'll work out a schedule that's a consistent schedule. So that's kind of what I'm going for. But Tuesday, I want to do the wrap up. No more than 30. I don't want to run over 30 minutes. Um, but I take I might because I didn't do it this week. But the player of the week shit's coming back. The hat, the cigar, the cognac, and the music. Barry White, that's coming back. I got to put that back in play. So that's going to happen. I got all the gear. I'm in a better setup and everything. So y'all see, I got my nice little chair. I got my backdrop. I got the mic. So the Facebook thing was on the phone. So setup wise, I'm better set up for it. So uh, Pimp Hat and Barry White's coming back, y'all. So I think I'm putting that back out next week and week two. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys for chiming in. Everybody else, if you get a chance to check the video out, see it. CP3, you better check it out because you're off to a bad start. And once again, Baker Mayfield over Patrick Mahomes. Put your money up. All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping in. Commish is out.